Well, all right. Welcome to Walt's World with the All-American Walter Luckett. I'm Juan Castillo. And today, of course, again, we're talking NBA. And we had the last two games. One was a blowout. The other one started like a blowout, but it got kind of tight. So first, let's go to the Atlanta Hawks Milwaukee game first, because that's the one that was the day before. The series are tied 1-1. The Milwaukee Bucks won 125-91. The Milwaukee Bucks in the second quarter scored 43 points to 17. That was what broke Atlanta's back. And I don't know. You said that you just said that.
I just said Trae Young is done.
Trae Young is done. You think so?
Yeah, I think so, because I think they figured it out. All you have to do is block that middle, and they got two giants to do that. And most important, I think that the defense is really a factor. They're much bigger and stronger. They figured it out. Trae's going to start hitting those threes, and actually, I think he shot poorly from the 3-point lane the last game. Yeah. What I do is push him out more, or even let him get his points, shut everybody off. But Milwaukee looks much stronger and much bigger. They're controlling those boards. And I think I told you earlier, you get the rebound, you control the boards, you got the game won, really.
Well, we had talked about the fact that Milwaukee has not been using their strength. I mean, their strength is their bigs, right? They tried to go small against Atlanta, and it did not work in the first game. Giannis only scored 25 points. Now, of course, he didn't play for a large portion of the game. Exactly. But Drew Holiday was a key. He finally stepped up.
Yeah, he's an outstanding defensive player too. And plus, you got to give him credit. He did play real good defense on Trae.
Yeah.
But you know what? They double teamed him from the start. They were double teaming him all the way. They were pushing him out. And I think that's what you have to do. And also, he started shooting threes at half court. So even his range he was a little off his range as well. Yeah. And plus, they pushed him to the side too, Juan. So, you could easily trap on the sides.
Yeah. And he could hit that 30-footer, but he hits that 30-footer at a less clip,
Exactly.
And he does that whenever he's having a game where he's driving and shooting and passing it off. And they cut him off. So, Chris Middleton came back with 15, but again, he didn't play the whole game. No one played the whole game.
I thought the game was pretty lopsided. But Middleton, I have issues with Middleton. You never know what he's going to come up with each game. I think he's consistent, but he really needs to be more consistent for me to say that you're a superstar. He's not superstar status yet, even though he's getting max monies.
True.
Capella, on the other hand, on the other side, where was he at?
2 points.
I mean, really, Capella needs to be utilized more. Now, I'm not going to question McMillan's defensive knowledge, but I think he needs to practice with the X and O's on the offensive end now, because now he has to score points, because they're gonna shut their offense down. He has to really sit down and figure out, how am I going to score outside of Trae Young? You can't rely on Trae Young to do everything.
Well, I think that what they need to do now is they need to start relying on other people now, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that Milwaukee is doing their thing, and they're keeping you out of the middle, all that. Okay, so how you gonna combat that? Because the game is about adjustments in the playoffs, right? So
absolutely.
What I would do is I would play Lou Williams more. I would definitely play him more. And I don't know why they're not playing Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn is a great player, and they're not
utilizing their bench. Juan, they're not utilizing their bench. And also, Juan, what's up with Bogdanović? I mean, he acted like he went fishing or something. I haven't found him in the last couple of games. It might be neutralizing the size factor. Was he about 6'8", Juan, 6'9"?
He's about 6'8". He's 6'6" actually.
Well, they locked him down.
Yeah, they did. But look, man, I think that by the end of the day, we're talking about, like you said, size matters, and if you use it properly, all right, because they didn't use it properly in the first game. They wanted to send out a message too, right? But I think that, I'm not gonna listen, man. I still got the Hawks. I haven't given up on the Hawks. I haven't. They can go home and win 2, and now the Bucks are gonna be in trouble like they've done before. So you never know, right?
The issue on with me, and that's where I'm going to disagree with you. The Greek freak is a freak, man. I mean, unbelievable. I don't like his coast to coast play, but it's very effective as long as he doesn't stop and shoot the 3. There's no answer for him underneath. You see, he's actually finger rolling like Connie Hawkins. I mean, it's like, wow.
Well, the thing is that look, last year in the playoffs, he got neutralized because they put up the wall. I don't know. The Hawks can put up the wall too, because the thing is that he's really out of control when he drives. You know that, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So he's out of control because he's going at about 120 miles an hour. So all you got to do is have a wall and draw some fouls, right? And let him become an outside shooter, and let everybody else become an outside shooter. But when he's driving to the basket and the ball is going down low to Lopez, I mean, you can't beat that. You know what I mean?
So that was my argument with you, Juan. How who's going to be the wall?
Well, listen, you don't have to be big to have a wall now. No, you don't have to be big to have a wall. Nah, I mean, Patrick Beverly proved that.
Strong point. Very good point.
You know what I mean? So that's where that's at, But listen, tonight, well, they're not playing. Yeah, they're playing tonight. Tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah. So that's gonna be extremely interesting. And I'm loving it. So okay, so last night.
You talk about boredom. I've never seen. At one time, it was like 4 for 24 from the field. It's like, wow, I couldn't believe the offense was non-existent on both parts. It was pretty much an all defensive game. The only part I didn't like about it, I thought it got a little too physical. They let a lot of the fouls go. I didn't like that. Also, foul shooting. Most of the guys who were great foul shooters were, suspect last night. It was just a very physical game last night.
Yeah, I mean, in the fourth quarter, the Phoenix Suns scored 15 points and the Clippers scored 14. I mean, the game was won in the third quarter. Actually, no. I mean, the game was the game was lost in the third quarter. No, if you think about it, right? The game was won in the first quarter when it was 29-20, because second quarter was 21-16 Suns. And in the third quarter, the Clippers scored 30 points to come back. 30, right? Then they got locked down in the fourth quarter with only 14.
Paul George, Juan, continue to miss foul shots.
Constantly. What is the story? He's a good foul shooter, though.
He was 88% until he got in the playoffs. I mean, you got to make those foul shots if you're supposed to be max players, superstar status. You can't miss those foul shots. Now, I will say this, even though, walking the ball up the court is not what I like to see, Chris Paul did make his foul shots.
Yes, he did. Now, Devin Booker took off that mask and ended up with 25.
Yeah, you can see that the mask was a distraction.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking about Kareem. Remember back in the day when Kareem started wearing the mask?
Yeah.
Didn't bother him though.
Nah. Well, but then again, it's a little different, when you down low, because you don't need that peripheral vision, because you basically taking it to the basket every time you get it, So he just went to the sky hook, and all he had to do was just see the basket.
I don't like what I see with the Clippers. Just something about that team. That you got Kawhi Leonard up in the suites drinking soda pop and eating popcorn. You got a couple of guys on the sideline having their sidebar meetings. Yeah, Ty Lue got to tighten it up a little bit because he's pretty demanding. But you're not going to win if you don't have that cohesiveness. You know what I'm saying, Juan?
Well, the thing about it that I really feel about what's going on with the Clippers also is the fact that Paul George doesn't need to be bringing the ball down. He's listed as a forward, right? Now you got Patrick Beverly and Reggie Jackson. They're the guards, right? And he's bringing the ball up all the time.
I know.
Really?
It should be in Jackson's hands because he doesn't turn the ball over.
No.
He's a seasoned vet. He's a legitimate prototype big guard who can handle the ball.
Right.
He makes shots. He doesn't get frazzled. He knows how to pass the ball when he needs to pass the ball.
Yep.
And you're right. And PG's just sporadically running all over the court with the ball in his hands and running the clock out. And then he decided to shoot or make a pass.
You're
not going to win that way.
No, and Patrick Beverly's not really he can't run no offense. I mean, he's just there for defense, really. And I tell you what, big ups to him because he's playing good.
I totally agree with you, Juan. Beverly has stepped up. I think, also, he's trying to get that starting spot back. And I don't see how you can't start him as long as Devin Booker's out there because you need somebody to play him. And he plays him tight. He's a distraction out there. And also he plays the bigs. I mean, he's not afraid. He's fearless out there.
Yeah, no question. No question. But man, so are you still going with your first pick?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna have to go with it. Yes, it's just gonna
still going with that.
And I think our finals will look like probably Phoenix and Milwaukee, because I think the bigs are starting to really surface to where they need to be in this Final Four series. Small ball's not going to win the NBA Finals. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to
it. So listen, man, I'm ready for you, man. I'm ready for you. I'm ready. I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna let you go first. Okay. But we talked about doing the top 5 guards all time, right? Now, we know damn well that 6, 7, and 8 could probably be in the top 5, but this is forcing us to make a choice. So let's get started. All-American Walter Luckett. Who you got, man?
Okay. Well, I'm
going to give me the reasons.
Well, first of all, the greatest basketball player ever to play the game, Michael Jordan, number 1.
Okay.
Then I got to give the best, I would say, point guard, team player, champion, Magic Johnson.
All right.
Number 2. Number 3, you might disagree with me on this. And the reason why I say Magic Johnson, he had a superstar team where he made everybody happy. He had James Worthy. He had Kareem Jabbar, Coop DeLute. I mean, those guys worked magic out there, and only because he kept them in line. True. And also, he scored when it was needed. If you needed 4 points, you got 4 points. If you need 12 assists, you got 12 assists. So phenomenal guard. I got to go with him.
All right.
Number 3 it's tricky, but I'm gonna have to say, for me personally, you got to go with the logo. And the reason why you got to go with the logo because he set the standard for jump shooting. You got to remember when Jerry West was out there, he was shooting threes and didn't get points for him.
All right.
And he was a tough guard. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. I do. Okay. He played defense. He was a very good defensive guard on top of everything else, and could shoot.
Thank you very much.
But I go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, number 4. My personal feeling, I thought he was the second best guard in the game, and that's Scottie Pippen. And the reason why I say Scottie Pippen, he was equally as talented on the offensive end as he was on the defensive end. He was 6'6", 6'7" guard, but he could jump out the gym. He always played the toughest offensive player in the game. Plus, he was side to side with Michael Jordan, and they won 5 or 6 championships. I don't know how you could allude to that. And 5th and final, this is a tough one. But I personally, and people forget, Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas was a monster when he was playing. And I don't know if you remember, even in the All-Star games, when the stars were stars, Isaiah got MVP about 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
That's my 5, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I was questioning whether I could bring a Curry in the picture, but Curry wasn't the defensive player that these guys were.
Right.
And plus, Curry's championships, he had a lot of support. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say he was fighting for 5th place. But I got to go with these guys.
Okay, so I'm a defensive guy.
Okay.
So I think you own it, to some degree, but
oh wow,
but and I got some of your guys on there, so but I don't know if I put them in that order, right? Okay, so I got MJ number 1. Why? The best player of all time, could play defense, won championships. If you needed somebody to score the basket at the end of the game, you gave it to him, right? Boom.
That's right.
All right. Oscar Robertson is number 2 for me, right?
Ooh.
Because what? This boy was a champion. He played with Kareem. He passed the ball around. He had Dandridge and all them same guys that Magic had, right? But guess what? He set the standard. Plus, not only that, he averaged a triple-double. Magic didn't average no triple-double. All right. So, matter of fact, if it wasn't for Oscar, there would be no Magic. Number 3, I gotta give it to the Magic Man. I gotta give it to him.
Okay.
And largely, and listen, I think, and he played defense, and I remember that Oscar played great defense, and so did Magic.
Absolutely.
Magic would shut you down. But the thing about Magic, the reason why I picked Magic 3rd instead of 2nd was because I still think Oscar Robertson was a better offensive player than Magic. Okay. By virtue of, averaging 30, for his career. Right. So that's number 3. Number 4, I'm going with Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
I agree with you on Isaiah Thomas. I think that a lot of people don't realize the defense that Isaiah Thomas played, even though he was a small guard. So, he could lock you down.
Absolutely.
He could lock you down. And he was a great passer, but also people talk about Kyrie and his handle.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Isaiah Thomas could have been playing for the Globetrotters, be Marcus Haynes and them boys. You know what I mean? So now, number 5, I'm going with Jerry West. I agree with you, but he's number 5, right? The reason is Jerry West could play defense like there was no tomorrow. He would lock you down, and he could shoot. He would look, man. If they were shooting, if they had 3-pointers back then, Jerry West would have been. His numbers would have been outrageous, right? And who could forget that shot against the Knicks, right? So
3-quarter, I know.
So that's my 5, and I'm sticking to
it. Okay, but Mr. Castillo, I have to say this though.
Yes, go ahead.
When I think about Jerry West,
yes,
and you talk about Magic Johnson, I'm going to go back to Magic Johnson first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Magic scored when he had to. His priority was not scoring.
True.
I don't know if you remember that championship game. He got 48 points, 18 rebounds, and
no
12
question.
assists.
No question.
He could score if he had to. That was not his priority, but he did what was necessary.
But
I wouldn't say that he's not a scorer.
But he did.
True that. I understand.
But he did not.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
But he could score. He was a scorer.
Oh, there's no question about that. No, because Magic could play 5 positions. He was the first LeBron James. He could play 5 positions. Only LeBron really is not a point guard. Magic definitely was a point guard, right? So I agree with that. You know what I mean?
And let's go back to Oscar Robertson, Mr. Castillo. I'm not going to let you off the hook on that one.
The big O, man. The big O. I don't know what you're messing around.
He established the standard, but how many teams were in the league when he was playing?
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about.
I'm talking about the competition now. We're gonna do the whole gambit here. Let's do the whole gambit. I think Oscar, he was playing against guys 5'8", 6 foot tall. He was about 6'4". I mean, the competition you really can't compare because back then, I wouldn't say that it was
I
the best competition compared to these eras that we've been
no,
experiencing.
no.
So I don't
You
know.
know,
I think Oscar was a great ball player, and if I was going to replace anybody with Oscar, it'd be Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, and we
yeah, I
forgot
mean,
about him.
I thought about Kobe. And I wanted to throw Kobe in there. Kobe's got to be my sixth man. I
Yeah,
mean, there's no question about that. But see, the thing is, this is that like, see, I watched all these guys play. There's a lot of people that make these lists that they didn't see these guys play. I
I
saw
know.
all these guys play, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, let me say this also, right? I disagree with you and all the rest of y'all who keep talking about the different eras, right? Look, I think okay, these dudes are more athletic, supposedly, right? Even though they're athletic, and guess what? Did you ever see Oscar Robertson take time off? Did you ever see,
Strong point. You got a
Jerry
strong point
West
there.
take time off?
No, they didn't.
They damn near played 35 minutes every game,
And for
right?
less money too.
For less money. Now, on top of that, right? Check this out. See, I believe that really that they were playing. I think they played just. I think the talent was just the same, except for the athleticism. Everybody's running around dunking and all this stuff, right? But I think that the point that I'm making here is that there were less teams, so that means the best of the cream of the crop made it. Whereas today, you got so many teams. Look, the other day, right, during that blowout, I thought them guys that were playing out there looked like they were in high school. Right?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Right? They were like playing like
They're not mature out there. It makes yeah.
Back in the day, if you made the NBA, right, and you didn't even play a lot, you were better than these guys that are sitting on the bench right now.
You came out ready because you had to be ready, and that was about it. It was all about your competency on the court. There's no question about that.
That's right. So I don't want to hear all that nonsense that everybody keeps talking about the different eras. I don't want to hear it. Now, let me say this, right? Now, when we're talking about the best player of all time, I don't have a problem talking eras. I don't. I really don't. But see, the thing is that the problem with what everybody is talking about the best player is the fact that MJ is the conversation every time. You notice that? It's like
absolutely, Mike. And the reason, but the reason for that, not to cut you off, is that I don't know if you noticed when MJ played, I didn't see him complaining to the officials that often.
No,
he wasn't running up to the officials, with a frown on his face, and he just played ball. Now LeBron and those guys, they're always questioning the official. They're running up on the official, trying to me, play the game. So that's why and even Magic Johnson, those guys were they were dogmatic out there. They just played ball. They tried to just punish you and let the officials, call the calls, and that's the way it was. Today is just too much crying out there.
Or cry me a river, every last one of them. Constantly. But I think that, the only thing that it was tough for me between Jerry West and Kobe. And everybody got Kobe on their list because it's sentimental, right?
Yes, yeah.
But I'm being for real. Right here, man. This dude right here, and look, by the end of the day, Kobe, his game was like Mike's. He watched Mike and he did everything that Mike did. So I got much respect for that by the end of the day. But by the end of the day, also, I had to throw two of the old schoolers in there, Jerry and Oscar, and then
rightfully so.
And then Isaiah, right there in the middle, and then MJ too, and then and then Magic, But yeah, man, that was a good list right there, brother.
On both ends, and that when and again, when you talk about the guy on the logo, again, I can't impress upon you enough. His averages would have been a lot higher. He was dropping 30s.
Hey, dropping 30s, and a lot of them were 3-point shots today.
Jerry West was dogmatic, man. He was nice, man.
Yeah, man. And he had a listen. We talked about and let's go back to that too, right? These guards today, they're always losing the ball, throwing the ball away. Oscar Robertson and Jerry West, if you went to see them play, you didn't see them throwing the ball away.
Like glue, man. Absolutely.
You know,
And in talking about Jerry West, I'm glad we're giving him his props. I don't know if people realize it. He recruited Kobe Bryant.
right?
He's one of the best scouts in basketball history.
Yes.
I don't know if people know that.
And consultant and everything else. You know, he's a consultant.
Even right now to this day.
Yep. So
the man knows talent, and he was a talent. And I like the fact that when Kobe was coming out of high school, he said this guy is going to be a superstar.
Right. But I think the blasphemy in all of this is the fact that, when you see all these pundits and all these folks on television or whatever, they don't give Oscar Robertson no play at all. They don't give Oscar no play, and that's because they didn't see. They need to go back and check out some film.
They don't give him a job. He needs a job.
Oh that's interesting. Man. Yeah, he's a smart dude, man. He's
very bright, and then actually he made some personal sacrifices, giving his daughter his kidney. I mean. The man's a man's man, and you're absolutely right, Juan. I echo your thoughts on that.
Right, absolutely. So I think I'm going to challenge you to another one. Right, I'm going to challenge you to another one. That's going to be pretty good. All right, because this one you're going to have to really dig deep. All right, the top 5-6 men in history.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
do some research.
Got to do some research for that one. All right.
So, I like that. That's good. That's challenging.
So I'm gonna give you some time. So when we get to the finals, we're gonna talk about the top 6 men, and during the finals, man. Well, listen, brother, enjoy the game tonight, man. You. It's gonna be another one. I truly believe, man, that it's gonna get tighter. I don't think that. These blowouts don't mean nothing. Have you noticed that, right?
Absolutely. I have no factor at all.
Yeah, they don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. But listen, man, have a wonderful evening, man. And
you too.
We'll come back tomorrow, man, and knock off what happened tonight. All right, my brother?
Have a blessed night now. Take care.
You too, man. Peace. Yep.